Merry Christmas story time, friends. This week we're going to have stories about Christmas or themed around Christmas. Because Christmas is at the end of this week if you celebrate. So let's see what we have. Our first book is a Christmas alphabet book. S is for Santa. Do you think we can come up with Christmas related items for the entire alphabet? Let's find out. A is for Angel. She sits on top of your tree. B is for baking. Christmas cookies, Christmas dinner. I think B for baking has a lot of good smells. C is for caroling. Do you go out singing Christmas songs? D is for decorations. Do you put decorations out in your yard? I bet you put them on your Christmas tree if you put up a Christmas tree. Some people do a little, some people do a lot. E is for evergreen. Your Christmas tree is an evergreen tree. F is for fireplace. So many Christmas stories have Santa coming down your fireplace, don't they? G is for gingerbread. Do you make a gingerbread house for Christmas? How fun! H is for holly. Do you have holly on your Christmas wreath or hanging in your decorations? I is for ice skating. I think it needs to be a little bit colder for a few more days in a row to have ice skating here, but we will have ice skating soon in Pine River, won't we? J is for Jingle Bells. You hear a lot of Jingle Bells during Christmas time. There's even a song named Jingle Bells. K is for kids. Kids are so delightful at Christmas time. To see Christmas through your eyes, it makes me want to be a kid again. L is for lights. There's a lot of lights around Christmas time, isn't there? Down around the town, at your house, at your neighbor's house. Sometimes it's fun just to go for a walk or a drive at night just to see all the beautiful Christmas lights. M is for mistletoe. Don't get caught under the mistletoe. You might get a kiss from somebody. N is for Nutcracker. Have you actually ever used a Nutcracker to open up a nut? I've never done that, but I have watched the Nutcracker movie and I have read the story. It's kind of a fun one. O is for one horse open sleigh. Wait, isn't that in our Jingle Bell song? Do you ever go for a ride in a one-horse open sleigh in the winter time? P is for presents. I think everybody can agree that presents and Christmas seem to go together. However, sometimes it's better to give presents than to get presents. It makes you feel so much better, and to see someone else so happy. Q is for quiet. We have to be quiet. Don't want Santa to know that we're looking for him. Also, it's a good idea to be quiet around the adults. The better behaved you are, the more presents you might get. R is for reindeer. The reindeer pulls Santa's sleigh all over the world so he can deliver his presents. Do you remember that famous reindeer? The one with the red nose? Rudolph, yes. Well, S is for Santa, of course. T is for toys. Lots of boys and girls get so many toys for Christmas. U is for unwrap. Of course, we have to get all that wrapping paper off of the presents so we can open them. V is for volunteering. Remember what I said about presents, how it's better to give than to receive them? Volunteering is also good to do to help others out. Serving food, donating presents, sometimes wrapping presents for somebody is helpful. Just visiting, caroling. There's so many fun things we can do for volunteering around Christmas. W is for workshop. That's where all Santa's elves work and get all these toys ready for Christmas. X is for excitement. Are you excited for Christmas? I bet you're really excited on Christmas Day. Y is for yummy. All that yummy food on the table. You can have ham, turkey, pie. Oh, can you taste it yet? This goes back to our letter B for baking. Yummy. Z is for Zephyr. The Zephyr train. Boys and girls used to love getting trains for Christmas. Do you like trains? Do you like to play with trains? Our next story is the 12 Days of Christmas in Minnesota. I think in Minnesota we have our own special 12 Days of Christmas. Do you? Let's find out. Oh, look it. They wrote a letter. Hi, Sarah and Hannah. Guess what today is? A snow day. It snowed here in Minnesota more than a foot last night, and the plows don't have the streets cleared out yet, so I get to stay home from school. As soon as I finish this letter, I'll be outside making a giant snowman. I can't wait for you to come to Minnesota for your winter vacation. There is so much for us to do. Hey, twins, did you know you're coming to the Twin Cities? The Mississippi River separates Minneapolis, where I live, from its sister city, St. Paul. And just like the two of you, our Twin Cities are not identical. I think you will have fun getting to know both of them and the rest of the state too. Oh, bring lots of warm clothes. If you don't have enough, my mom will knit you some. Like sweaters, hats, mittens, scarves. Most of her stuff looks pretty good too, so don't say I didn't warn you. But some of it is a little weird. See you soon, your cousin Jack. So Jack lives in Minnesota and his cousins Sarah and Hannah live someplace warm. Boy, are they going to get a surprise when they come to Minnesota in the winter, aren't they? So on the first day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us a loon in a Norway pine tree. And there's another letter. So Hannah is going to write home to her mom and dad of what it's like being in Minnesota for winter. Minnesota is awesome. There's snow everywhere. It's below 0 right now, but the weatherman said to expect 30 degrees tomorrow. That'll feel like a heat wave. Jack decorated a Christmas tree just for us. It's a Norway pine. That's the Minnesota state tree. Some people call it a red pine. You'll never guess what the tree topper is. A loon. A real loon. We've named him Checkers because his feathers look black and white like a checkerboard. Common loons are the state bird, but they actually fly south when the lakes freeze over. Checker said he stuck around this year because he wanted to see what the snow was really like. Ha! We're camping tonight. Indoors, of course. We have sleeping bags on the floor. We're toasting marshmallows in the fireplace for s'mores. Aunt Christine is playing a CD with lake noises, and Checkers is teaching us how to make loon calls. What a great way to camp! And there isn't a single mosquito. That's Minnesota's other state bird. Love, Hannah. P.S. Sarah says, hello, hello, in her best loon wail. So they put up our state tree for their Christmas tree, and they got our state bird on top. Well, on the second day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 2 hockey sticks and a loon and a Norway pine tree. I think everybody in Minnesota pretty much knows what hockey is. You may not have played it, but you probably know what it is. So let's see what Hannah told her mom and dad about her second day of Christmas here in Minnesota. Dear Mom and Dad, she shoots, she scores. Jack gave us hockey sticks so we could play ice hockey on a neighborhood rink. We had to wear protective pads, helmets, mouth guard, gloves, and oh yeah, hockey skates. Good thing I had all that stuff on because it didn't hurt too much when I fell, and I fell a lot. Minnesota is called the state of hockey. There are teams for all kinds of players. Kids my age play on a mite or a squirt team. They're funny names though, huh? Many Minnesotans have played on an Olympic hockey team. Jenny Potter has 4 Olympic gold medals, including a 1998 gold medal from the first women's hockey competition. In 1980, in those Winter Olympics, more than half of the players on the men's gold medal winning United States team, plus the coach, were from Minnesota. Their win was called the Miracle on Ice. No one thought they could beat the Soviets. We were the best team in the world. Sarah's outside practicing her slap shot. She said that she wants to be a miracle on ice. Love, Hannah. On the third day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon and a Norway pine. What do you think the red stones are? Should we read the letter and find out? Dear Mom and Dad, this morning Aunt Christine drove us west to the Pipestone National Monument. That's where the Dakota and other tribes have come for centuries to mine pipestone for ceremonial pipes. Today, Native Americans still use hand tools to dig the red stone out of the sacred quarries. We watched an artist carve figures of bears, turtles, and bison. They're special animals in the Dakota culture. On the way home, it started snowing. Aunt Christine told us about famous winter storms like the Halloween blizzard. It was more trick than treat in Minneapolis on October 31st, 1991. 8 inches of snow fell, and it kept snowing for 3 more days until 28 inches piled up. Some Minnesotans were without electricity because of the heavy snow and ice, and strong winds caused the power lines to fail. Brrr. Guess what? Back in the old days, people used natural signs to predict storms, like a ring around the moon or pain in Grandma's big toe. Sarah says a monster blizzard is coming because her big toe really hurts. Love, Hannah. Do you have any signs to tell you if it's going to be snowing? My biggest sign is I look out the window to see the snow falling, right? So, in Minnesota, on the 4th day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 4 lumberjacks, 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon and a Norway pine tree. 4 lumberjacks? Oh, that's right. Paul Bunyan was a lumberjack. So let's see what the letter says about the lumberjacks. Dear Mom and Dad, no blizzard yet. Maybe Sarah's toe is just sore from her new ice skates. Today, we were hot on the trail of the legendary Paul Bunyan. Other states claim to be the birthplace of this giant lumberjack, but Minnesota is where Paul got serious about cutting trees. And everywhere Paul and his big blue ox Babe stepped, they made another lake. We started in Brainerd by saying hello to a talking Paul Bunyan, then went on to Akeley to see the world's tallest Paul Bunyan statue, 25 feet, and he's kneeling. Then we headed to Bemidji to see the oldest statue of Paul, built back in 1937. This Paul statue weighs 2.5 tons. Sometimes people decorate him and Babe with clothing. You know who couldn't resist knitting Babe a scarf, huh? Finally, we visited the Forest History Center in Grand Rapids and met a real live lumberjack. Guess what his name was? Paul! He told us that in the 1900s, all the lumber cut in Minnesota could have circled the earth. We saw the bunkhouse where Paul sleeps and the cooking shack where he eats. The flapjacks smelled delicious. So you live in Minnesota Storytime, listeners. Have you met Paul Bunyan yet? On the 5th day of Christmas, a cousin gave to us 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 redstones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Dear Mom and Dad, did you know that Minneapolis was once the flour milling capital of the world? We toured an old flour mill in downtown Minneapolis, now the Mill City Museum. We love the 8-story freight elevator ride. Every time the doors opened, we learned something new about milling. When we got home, we baked Minnesota-shaped cutout cookies. Sarah nibbled off the northwest angle. The angle is the chimney at the top of the state. It is actually separated from the rest of Minnesota by the Lake of the Woods, so you can't get to the angle area by car without going through Canada. Talk about mapping problems. It took more than 100 years for the United States and Great Britain to agree on this little bit of zigzag border. For dinner, Jack made 5 hot dishes, otherwise known as casseroles. Wild rice with chicken is Jack's specialty, but I gave his hamburger hot dish a 10 too. Sarah voted for the super duper cheesy macaroni and veggies topped with potato nuggets. That was Checker's favorite, the tuna noodle surprise. Love, Hannah, who feels like she's going to explode from too many hot dishes. On the 6th day of Christmas, a cousin gave to us 6 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 redstones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Dear Mom and Dad, we went up north to the lake. That's what Minnesotans say when they head out to one of the more than 10,000 lakes in the state. The most common lake names? Mud and Long Lake. There are hundreds of those. There are lots of twin lakes too, but only one Lake Hannah and 2 Lake Sarahs. Jack says a bunch of lakes have his name, like Hungry Jack, Big Jack, Jack the Horse. There's even a Christmas lake. We tried ice fishing this afternoon on one of the largest lakes, Mille Lacs. The ice on Mille Lacs was more than a foot thick. Aunt Christine checked. There has to be at least 5 inches of solid ice to safely hold the weight of a snowmobile. We drove 2 miles on the lake to a city of portable houses. Some ice houses were extra fancy, with beds, carpet, and a kitchen. Everyone else caught walleyes. They're the state fish. I caught an eel pout. Oofta, it looked like a snake. Catch you later. Get it? On the 7th day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 7 swans a swimming, 6 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 redstones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Great big bird alert! Today we went birding along the Mississippi River, and did we ever get lucky. Near Monticello, where the river stays open most of the winter, we saw 7 trumpeter swans. They are the largest winter birds in North America and maybe the noisiest. Yeah, they really do sound like trumpets. Next, we watched bald eagles soaring over the river. They have wingspans of up to 8 feet. Minnesota is the place to come to see eagles. They are here more than just about anywhere else in the United States. Then we saw a beautiful gray owl with yellow eyes. Great grays are among the world's largest owls. Checker seemed a little jealous. Maybe he wishes he had big yellow eyes instead of his red eyes. P.S. The Mississippi begins in a channel at Lake Itasca that is so narrow people can actually wade across it. Sarah wants to go there next summer, so she can say that she walked across the mighty Mississippi River. On the 8th day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 8 happy Holsteins, 7 swans a swimming, 8 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Dear Mom and Dad, down on Grandpa's farm, we met 8 happy cows. Judy, Jane, Arlene, Tippy, Leah, Winona, Jessica B, and Jessica L. Grandpa says his Holsteins are named for Minnesota movie stars because the cows are stars too. Grandpa's stars produce more milk than any other cows in Spring Grove. And how does Grandpa keep his cows happy? He tells them lots of jokes. Like this one about 2 Norwegian guys named Sven and Ole. One hot summer day, Ole was painting his house. Sven stopped by and saw that Ole had on 2 winter coats. Ole, why you wearing those warm coats? Ole's answer, the instructions on the paint can said to put on 2 coats. Ha 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 ha. Grandpa told us his grandparents came from Norway. They taught him to like lutefisk. It's a codfish soaked in lye. Sarah wouldn't try any because it smelled awful. I thought lutefisk tasted pretty good, especially with lots of butter from Grandpa's stars. Love, Hannah, who thinks she's more Norwegian than Sarah is. On the 9th day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 9 bears a-snoring, 8 happy Holsteins, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Dear Mom and Dad, Minnesota has its share of amazing animals. Today we saw wolves way up north in Ely. Only Alaska has more wolves than Minnesota. Wolves are usually hard to see because they live deep in the forest. At the International Wolf Center, we watch 4 wolves through the windows and learn what wild wolves need to survive. Space to roam and meat to eat. At the North American Bear Center, the bears were hibernating, but we heard some really good bear facts, like Minnesota has 27,000 bears living in the wild, and cubs born in January and February weigh less than a pound. At midnight, Aunt Christine called us outside to see the aurora borealis, or the northern lights. Wow! Flickering green curtains rippled across the sky. Jack said that the lights are solar particles colliding with gases, and that the further north you go, the better chance you have to see them. All I know is the lights were gorgeous. Then a wolf started howling, and Sarah's goosebumps grew as big as snowballs. On the 10th day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 10 dogs a-dashing, 9 bears a-snoring, 8 happy Holsteins, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Dear Mom and Dad, hike, ha, gee. We just went for an incredible dog sled ride in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness, the BWCAW. It consists of more than 1 million acres of lakes and forests along Minnesota's border with Canada. First, we learned all about the Alaskan Husky dogs, how much they love to pull, how much food they eat, which is a lot, and when they need to wear booties. The dogs were so excited they barked like crazy, but once we took off, all you could hear was the swoosh of the sled runners, the dogs breathing, and Sarah singing, "Over the river and through the woods to Grandma Ray we go. The dogs know the way to carry the sleigh." Grandma Ray is on the edge of Lake Superior, near a stop on the John Beer Grease Sled Dog Marathon. This race honors a man who delivered mail by dog sled in the late 1800s. I'd like my mail to be delivered by my 2 favorite sled dogs, Yukon, with his beautiful blue eyes, and Nicky, who always seems to be smiling at me. On the 11th day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 11 spooky sailors, 10 dogs a-dashing, 9 bears a-snoring, 8 happy Holsteins, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Dear Mom and Dad, here we are at Lake Superior, the world's largest freshwater lake. Big ships loaded with iron ore, coal, and grain travel from Minnesota's port of Duluth to other ports on the Great Lakes, or all the way out to the Atlantic Ocean. Lake Superior stays open much of the winter, thanks to the boats called icebreakers. They clear shipping lanes of all but the thick of ice. Crunch! Terrible winter storms and gales have caused shipwrecks along the shore of Lake Superior, north of Duluth. After several gales in 1905 killed people and sank ships, the Split Rock Lighthouse was built to steer ships clear of jagged rocks. The lighthouse sits on a 120-foot cliff and has a 54-foot tower, making it one of the tallest lighthouses in the Great Lakes. In 1910, 2 assistant lighthouse keepers drowned while sailing to Beaver Bay for mail. Jack says the ghost of the young man still haunts Split Rock Lighthouse. Sarah says she won't be able to sleep tonight. Me neither. On the 11th day of Christmas, our cousin gave to us 12 sculptures sparkling, 11 spooky sailors, 10 dogs a-dashing, 9 bears a-snoring, 8 happy Holsteins, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. Greetings, loyal subjects. We wish to stay longer in the kingdom of Minnesota. We still have places to go, like the Children's Theater in Minneapolis. It's the largest professional company of young actors in North America. And things to do like snowshoeing and snow tubing. Jack says snow tubing is a blast. And our royal presence is requested at the St. Paul Winter Carnival. Back in 1886, St. Paulites wanted to celebrate what a great place their city was, even in the winter. So local business owners created a carnival, and they've been holding that carnival ever since, with a royal family, a treasure hunt, parades, sculpture carving, blocks of ice into beautiful statues. Sometimes they even construct a whole palace out of ice. Jack plans to win the hot dish contest. Sarah wants to be a bouncing girl in the parade and get tossed high in the air on a blanket. All I need is a tiara, which is a crown. Just call me Hannah, Queen of the Snows. P.S. Would it be okay if Checkers came home with us? He really wants to meet his cousins in the Pacific Loons. So there is the 12 days of Christmas in Minnesota. Can you see them all? Can you find them? The 12 sculptures sparkling, 11 spooky sailors, 10 dogs a-dashing, 9 bears a-snoring, 8 happy Holsteins, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 walleyes wriggling, 5 golden hot dishes, 4 lumberjacks, 3 red stones, 2 hockey sticks, and a loon in a Norway pine tree. We sure did learn a lot about Minnesota in that one, didn't we? We have one last cute little Christmas story for you. Little Hedgehog and his friends were out walking in the snow, gathering holly for their Christmas party. "What's that?" explained Fox as a strange figure wobbled towards them. "Is it a present on legs?" cried Rabbit. "No," chuckled Little Hedgehog. "I think it's Squirrel." "Where are you going with all those things?" asked Little Hedgehog, rushing to help. "Hello," gasped Squirrel. "I'm taking Christmas presents and snacks to Grandpa Squirrel. He has a terrible cold and can't get out in all this snow." "We'll help you," offered Little Hedgehog. "Come on, everyone." "Oh, thank you," beamed Squirrel. "Isn't that nice? Friends helping friends." The friends followed Squirrel up and up and up the steepy, snowy path to Grandpa Squirrel's house on Rocky Ridge. "We're here!" cheered the baby mice. "Oh my!" declared Grandpa Squirrel, opening his door. "Come in! What a wonderful surprise! I will make some hot chocolate to warm you up." As they shared stories, nibbled cookies, Little Hedgehog noticed fresh flakes of snow falling outside. "Oh, we better get going," he said. "Well, thank you for all your help," exclaimed the squirrel. "Be careful," warned Grandpa Squirrel. "The path can get very slippery." "I think you know that too. When it snows, things can get slippery." In a flurry of snowflakes, the friends slowly made their way down the icy path. "Careful, everyone!" cried Badger. But it was too late. Whoosh! Little Hedgehog slipped. "Look out!" he cried. But then Fox skidded into Badger, who bumped into Rabbit and all the mice. Soon everyone was slip-sliding down the path. Thud! They landed in a snowy heap. "Is everyone all right?" gasped Little Hedgehog. "We're fine," squeaked the mouse. "So are we," added Fox and Badger. "That just leaves—" "Rabbit!" they all cried. "Rabbit, where are you?" And their cries echoed around the mountain. "I'm here," answered Rabbit from underneath a snowy drift. "But what's that rumbling sound?" They looked at each other as snow began to shudder and shake. "It's an avalanche!" yelled Badger. "Quick, everyone into this cave!" Whoosh! Safely inside, the friends peered out as a rush of snow swept past the cave. "That was close," said Fox. All at once the snow stopped and everything was still. The friends followed Squirrel up, up, up. "The snow is covering the path," squeaked Mouse as they stepped outside. "We're stuck," cried Rabbit. "We will miss Christmas." "Well, there must be another way home," says Badger. "I think we can climb down the side of the mountain." "But it'll be dark soon," shivered a baby mouse. "We might get lost." "I know what to do," said Little Hedgehog, unraveling his hat. "We'll use this yarn to tie ourselves together. That way we won't get separated as we climb down." Little Hedgehog tied one end of the yarn to a tree, then everyone wrapped the yarn around their waists. "Take your time and be careful," warned Badger as they began to make their way down the mountain. "We're almost there," cried Little Hedgehog, leading the way. But the yarn was wet and slippery between his paws. "Oh no!" he cried, starting to slide. "The yarn is running out." Down, down, down he slipped until the bright red pom-pom stopped his fall. "I'm okay!" he shouted. "I've been saved by my hat." "Hooray!" everyone cheered, jumping safely to the ground. "What an adventure!" said Little Hedgehog, as the friends walked up to Badger's house. "But look at my poor hat." "Don't worry," smiled Badger. "We can fix that." And that's just what they did. With cupcakes and mugs of hot chocolate, Badger showed Little Hedgehog how to knit his hat back together. "My favorite hat will be good as new," smiled Little Hedgehog. "Thank you, Badger, and Merry Christmas, everyone." Well, that is our Christmas-themed stories here at the Pine River Library. We want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. We'll be back next week with another story time. Bye-bye.